Well, that was an encouragement. You may know it. One that may resonate a little differently. It says, if he dresses the lilies with beauty and splendor, how much more will he clothe you? How much more will he clothe you? If he watches over every sparrow, how much more does he love you? How much more does he love you? If he dresses the lilies, how much more? If he watches every sparrow, how much more? How much more? Sing if he dresses with beauty and splendor, how much more? How much more will he clothe you? If he watches every sparrow, how much more? How much more does he love you? Sing how much more does he love you? How much more does he love you? How much more does he love you? Sing how much more? How much more? How much more does he love you and you and you and you? How much more? Sing how much more does he love you? Sing how much more? Sing how much more? Sing how much more? How much more? How much more? Sing how much more? How much more? Sing how much more? When we look after your needs, how much more? When we sing about you, how much more? Sing how much more? Sing how much more? How much more? How much more?
Turn it down. Yes, Lord.
How much more?
Yes, Lord.
You all may know, well, that was an encouragement. We may know it. One that
Go ahead, replay it.
It says, if he dresses the lilies
Well,
with beauty and splendor,
we're gonna have to play the music a little bit so you all can hear the song.
how much more will he clothe you?
Let y'all hear it again. Facebook, you can hear it again. I mean YouTube, you can hear it good. Yeah, that's my
How
song.
much more does he love you? How much more does he love you? If he dresses the lilies, say,
Facebook wasn't able to hear it, YouTube, so we're gonna let them listen to it a little bit.
if he watches every
What's up, YouTube? How you all doing this morning? Happy Sabbath day. Happy Sabbath day. This is the day that the Most High have made. So let us be glad and rejoice in it. Yes.
with beauty and splendor, how much more?
Let us be glad and rejoice in it.
If he watches every sparrow, how much more? How much more does he love you?
Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing this morning?
Does he love you? How much more does he love you? How much more does he love you? Sing how much more? How much more? How much
This is my first time going YouTube live. we're working on it.
Sing how much more does he love you? Sing how much more?
Okay. Turn it
Sing
down.
how much more? Sing how much more?
Yes, how you all doing this morning? Happy Sabbath day. Happy Sabbath day. This is the day that the Most High have made. So that let us be glad and rejoice in it. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. I hope your week has been a great week. I hope the Most High really truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. I hope the Most High have really truly blessed you and your offsprings with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of your word. I hope the Most High really truly blessed you over and abundantly with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. I hope the Most High have really truly blessed everything about you and your offsprings. My week has been a pretty good week. I can't complain too much. I won't complain because the Most High is in the blessing business, the Barak business. So I won't complain too much. I'm just very grateful. I'm doing very well. Just trying to make it through the week, just thankful for the Most High. If you could turn to the book of Exodus this morning. Reading chapter 20, Exodus 20, 1 through 17. Excuse me. And it reads, And Ananias spake out these words, saying, I am Yahuwah the Ananias, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Ananias before me, and thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah the Ananias, am a jealous Ananias, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah the Ananias in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy works, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah the Ananias. In it thou shalt not do any works, thou nor thy sons nor thy daughters, thy manservants nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore, if Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, honor thy fathers and thy mothers, that their days be long upon the land which Yahuwah the Ananias giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adulteries, thou shalt not steal, and thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors. And thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservants, nor his maidservants, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So let us pray this morning. O creators of the heavens and earth, of our radiance and vibrations, soften the grounds of our beings and carve out a space with us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear fruits of our mission. Let each of our actions bear fruits in accordance with our desires within your purpose for our life. Bestow us with the wisdom of produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled thread of destiny that binds us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which distracts us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of present moments, for you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the creator and power, and fulfillment as all is gathered and made whole once again. So let it be. Shalom, 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 Shabbat, shalom, everybody. Happy Sabbath day, happy Sabbath day. This is the day that the Most High have made. So let us be glad and rejoice in it. If you can, turn to the book of Thessalonians, First Thessalonians. First Thessalonians chapter 5. First Thessalonians chapter 5. First Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 11, 1 through 11. And the key verse is going to be verse 3. No, is it 3? Yeah, verse 3. The key verse is verse 3. Okay? The key verse is going to be about verse 3. And it reads, this is not what I want, but I'm going to read it. Verse 3. Verse 3, and it reads, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Let me read it over. It says, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, as pain upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. If I may give a title of the teachings today, the title of the teachings today is we got to keep the faith during this season. We got to keep the faith during this season. Okay? We got to keep the faith during this season. Okay? And let me give you the two words today. The two words today is escape is a 13th century word. Escape is a 13th century word. It means to flee from, avoid, to get out of the way, to shun, to obtain security from, to pass without harm, free oneself from confinement, extricate oneself from troubles, get away safely by flight. That's what escape means. It means to flee from or avoid, to get out of the way. Okay, the word faith is a mid-13th century word. The word faith means to believe, a belief, the agreement of the mind to the truth of what is declared by another, resting on his authority and truth without other evidence. Faith means faithfulness to a truth, trust, or promise, loyalty to a person, honesty, and truthfulness. Okay, that's what faith means. Faith means to believe, a belief, the agreement of the minds to the truth of what is declared by another. Okay. Also, let me tell you this to keep this in the back of your mind. Matthew chapter 24, verse 13. It says, but he that endures to the end, the same shall be saved. He that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Okay? So now, when we're talking about First Thessalonians, Second Thessalonians, talking about Paul, and Paul is talking through the Thessalonians about troubles, about trials and tribulations. But it's also talking about the character that a person must have during the trials and tribulations. Okay, it says this. It says, First Thessalonians seems to be the first of Paul's letters and probably written it from Corinth, sometimes between 49 and 54 AD. It is addressed to the new believers in the city of Thessalonica, despite the fact that Paul and his companion had spent less than a month there. A flourishing assembly had been born, but these believers were suffering persecutions So he wrote this letter, this intimate letter, to give them comfort and instructions. He commended them for staying firm in their testimonies and encouraging them to continue, sustained by the hope of Christ's return. And that's basically what the Thessalonians is all about, talking to people to really want you to continue to believe, the Hebrew Israelites, to the Hebrew Israelites and the Gentiles who attach themselves to the Israelites, that during this moment in time that we're in and that we're going through, we got to continue to be able to have belief and walk in the statutes of the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahuwah. We got to believe in Yahuwah more than ever before, because there's so much stuff that's going on right now today that we can't even wrap our heads around it. Every day is something new. Every day, every minute, it's something new that's going on. And I was doing a little Googling this morning about did the new tariff deal that Trump put out, did it really, was it a deal? Is it really going to help the United States economy? And in actuality, no, it's not going to help the United States economy. No, it's not going to bring back anything. Only thing what happened was he escalated the taxes, and then he brought back down what he escalated. He didn't do anything because before he said, I'm going to raise the taxes on China, the tax was already low. So what he did was he caused the problem, then act like he brought in a solution. And he didn't actually bring in a solution if he would have never caused the problem. Him causing the problem was raising the tariff to 145%. But if he would have never raised it up to 145%, he would have never had to go to the table and have a deal, a tariff deal, as if he really made a deal. And he really didn't do anything. Only thing he did was mess with the markets. That's all. China's still sending their soybeans over to Brazil, and Australia is still getting the beef. That means that the United States is in what's actually happening with Canada and Mexico. There's no difference. So Trump really did not do anything for the United States economy. He only pretended that he did something, but in actuality, he didn't do anything. And, it's going to take a couple of weeks that's about 3 weeks for the ships to start coming back over here from China with imports. But it doesn't mean that it's still going to be, great, because companies are still laying off employees. The work is still slow, and it still is a lot of other issues going on around the world. So because he said he made a deal, he actually did not. He made a deal he fixed the problem that he caused. He didn't fix he didn't bring nothing back to the Americas that was taken away. He didn't do any of that. So when we're thinking on that level that he did something, he actually didn't do nothing but fix a problem that he caused. And everybody calling him a deal maker. No, he's not a deal maker. He's just fixing a problem that he caused. So also, when we're looking at that, and then we're looking at what's going on over in the Middle East, right? What's going on over in the Middle East is what they got this thing called the Abraham Accord. Okay, the Abraham Accord. Because everything that you see now is about what's happening with Palestine and the genocidal activity that's going on over in Palestine, and how nations now are tired of the state of Israel genociding Palestine. So what Trump did on his first term, he started the beginning of the Abraham Accord. Okay, let me tell you what the Abraham Accord is. The Abraham Accord are a series of bilateral agreements between Israel and several Arab nations brokered by the United States, aimed at moralizing relations and fostering corporations. These accords have led to improved diplomatic ties, new economic opportunities, and increased people-to-people interactions between Israel and the participating Arab states. So what they mean by Arab states is Muslim states over there in Israel. Israel is probably the only country over there that is a Jewish state. Majority of the other people are Muslims countries. And haven't done a lot of research on it, but I think majority of the countries are Arab or Muslim countries. And Israel is the only country that over there is a Jewish state. They are surrounded by other countries that is Arab. And Israel, the state of Israel has been causing commotion for the last 40 years. Ever since they've been basically in establishment as a state, they have been just like the United States. They've been at war more than they have been at peace. So when they've been at war more than they've been at peace, that's why Donald Trump going over there trying to bring a peace deal to the countries around the world, to the countries in the Middle East, because he wanting them to become at peace. That's why they call this the Abraham Accord. Also, because they call it the Abraham Accord is because you have all three nations or national religions that is over there in the Middle East. You have the Christianity, you have Judaism, and you have the nation of Islam. You have the Islamic states over there, the Muslim states. So all of them are part of it because they all feel like all of those nations came from Abraham himself. Ishmael came from Muslims came from Ishmael, Judaism came from Shemites, and Christianity came from, I guess, the Japhet, which is Roman Catholic Church, but which stems from Christianity. So now all these people are in the Middle East fighting. So Donald Trump initiated this Abraham Accord on his first term. And what he's basically doing is completing what he did on his first term. So like I did again to say, the Abraham Accord are a series of bilateral agreements between Israel and several Arab nations brokered by the United States aimed at normalizing relations and fostering corporations. These accords have led to improved diplomatic ties, new economic opportunities, and increased people-to-people interaction between Israel and the participating Arab states. Okay, so then I said, what is the Abraham Accord? Then I said, when was the Abraham Accord established? Because all these things is very important. The Abraham Accord agreements normalized relations between Israel and several Arab nations were signed in 2020. The first agreement was signed on September 15, 2020. These agreements involved United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. Later agreements were also reached with Sudan and Morocco. So all these countries that are that signed the first signed the Abraham Accord was also part. They're Islamic states. Okay, it was signed by Donald Trump in 2020. Okay, so because they're trying to bring peace in the Middle East. Okay? So now I said, who was the first to initiate the Abraham Accords? The Abraham Accords, which normalized relations between Israel and were brokered by Donald Trump. Trump White House, specifically President Trump, played a key role in facilitating the agreements. The accords were formally signed in 2020 and included agreements between Israel, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan. So now, what Donald Trump is fulfilling is his part of the Abraham Accord is to bring peace in the Middle East. Okay? So then I said this. I'm not going to go to that one, but then I said this right here. I Googled and I said, will the Abraham Accord brings World War III? Okay. It said the Abraham Accord themselves are unlikely to directly cause World War III. Directly cause World War III. However, the complex geopolitical landscape in the Middle East, which is the Accord, are meant to address and has potential to escalate regional tensions. And any such escalation could indirectly contribute to a wider conflict. Because what the main issue is they're trying to stop the state of Israel from continuing to bomb Palestine and take their land. Because everybody over there in the Middle East knows that the state of Israel are not the chosen people. Everybody knows that they went in 1948 and took their lands through the Balfour Declaration of 1919. Everybody knows that, and everybody knows that the state of Israel should not even be over there in the Middle East at this time. So that's why they knowing that this agreement is really not going to do nothing but bring major conflict to the Middle East. It's not going to bring any resolutions. It's going to bring major conflict because the state of Israel want to continue to push the Palestinians out of the land. Okay, and then I went down a little bit and I said normalization of the agreements. Hold on. I said it says normalization of the agreements. The Abraham Accord involved diplomatic agreements between Israel and several Arab nations. Then I said it says potential for escalation, while the accord aimed for peace and stabilities. The complex relationship between Israel and the Palestinians and the broader geopolitical dynamics in the region could lead to further conflict. The reason why it's going to push for further conflict is because Israel is going to try to push the Palestinians out of the land completely and take over the whole landscape, which would be genocide against the Palestinian people. They're not going to agree with the two-state resolutions, meaning that the Palestinians get their land and live the way they need to live, and then the state of Israel get a portion of that land, and the state of Israel live in that agreement, in their lands peacefully. That's what everybody wants, but the state of Israel is not going to go for that. The state of Israel want to take over the whole land so they can develop it the way they want to. And that's why it's going to be a major conflict, because nobody's going to allow the state of Israel to genocide and get rid of the whole group of people that is called the Palestinians. Okay. Then I went down and I said, what are the factors that's contributing to a wider conflict? The unresolved conflict between Israel and the Palestinians is a major source of tension in the region. Then it says the regional power dynamics. The region is a complex mix of competing powers, including Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United States, over all of whom have their own interests in the agenda. So all these people really have their own agenda and why it's not going to be conflict, why it's not going to be peace, because everybody have their own agenda in it, okay? Then it says, in the conclusions, while the Abraham Accords themselves are unlikely to directly cause World War III, the broader regional context they are meant to address could contribute to a wider conflict. The key factors is ongoing Israelis and the Palestinian conflict, as well as the complex power dynamic and external interference in the region. So, what could actually kick off World War III is the Abraham Accord, that they don't agree on the Abraham Accord. And the reason why the Abraham Accord will not be agreed upon is because the state of Israel want to really kick out the Palestinians out the land. But I want to say something to you. Trump was over there in Saudi Arabia this weekend, and Trump said, and I said this, how many times did Trump say peace and safety? President Trump used the phrase peace and safety multiple times during his recent visit to Saudi Arabia, often in the context of discussing the future of the Middle East and the potential for regional stability and prosperity. But we just read that it's going to be very difficult to have peace and prosperity in the Middle East or the Far East because of everybody's agendas for the land. And is the state of Iran is backing Hamas, and Hamas is backing the Palestinians and Yemen. So in order for the state of Israel to be able to take over the whole land where they are occupying, they're going to have to get rid of Iran, because Iran is the major source for Hamas and Yemen and all of the Palestinians in the land. Because everybody has an agenda. But like I said, it says peace and safety. He envisioned a future. This is what Trump said this week. He envisioned a future land of excuse me. He envisioned a future land of peace, safety, and harmony, opportunities, innovations, and achievements right here in the Middle East. The only way that they can have all these things if they have a two-state resolution. Okay, he stated that security and stability will lift millions into lives and safety and success. He expressed his preference for peace and partnership whenever possible. So Donald Trump is the one who initiated the Abraham Accord. He's trying to bring peace and safety into the Middle East and the Far region. But the Bible predicts that there will not be peace and safety in the Middle East. But also, as it says this in 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 3. For when they shall say, that three-letter word, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, as travail or pain upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So now, that is the reason why Paul is talking and giving us an encouragement word today, is because of the Thessalonians, because he understands that we're in a season that we're in a season where We're in the end times. And we need this encouragement to be able to make it through whatever we're going through. We're going to need something to help us make it through whatever we're going through. And he's talking to us about how we should deal with each other during calamities, tribulations, and hardships. How we should be as a people and how we should be as a person. Okay, so let us go ahead and go to verse 1 in chapter 5 in 1 Thessalonians. It says, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourself know perfectly that the day of Yahuwah so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as pain upon a woman with child. And they shall not escape." These are promises that has been given to us, that we have to understand that we're going to go through some difficult times. But how we live and how we function, how we treat people in the time of our calamities are very important. And because it's going to get down we're going to talk more about it in the tape. But this is the reality that we live in, because a lot of us been like, this was written in 49 and 52 AD, right? But Jerusalem didn't fall until 70 AD. But Paul was giving the people a forewarning that something truly was going to happen to them in the future. When Jerusalem fell in 70 AD against the Roman Empire, Paul was basically notifying them or prophesying them that something was going to happen in the future. But Paul was hoping that he would be able to see Yahushua come before the fall. But we have been told, our grandparents been telling us, you're going to go through some times, you're going to go through some times. This is going to happen, this is going to happen. All they have been prophesying for a long period of time. They was prophesying to us for a long period of time. But it was whether we believed in the word of Yahuwah or not, whether we believed that this was going to happen or not. And I'm going to say something to you. Your actions is based on your belief. Whatever you believe that is what it's going to be. If you don't believe that if the word of Yahuwah is true, you won't act on it. But if you believe that the word of Yahuwah is true, you will act upon it. Your belief system is very important. If you feel like you got a little bit more time, you're going to act on that. If you don't feel like you got much time, you're going to act the way you think it. Okay? So then it says, and I want to emphasize sudden. Okay? I'm going to read it over. It says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, as pain upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Understand that. They shall not escape. What's up, Greg? They shall not escape. That's why it says in Matthew chapter 24, verse 13, "He that endures to the end shall be saved." That means that you're going to have to go through some complications in order to be protected in the midst of it. It's not automatically given that you're going to be protected during the process. You got to continue to go through it. You got to continue to work on it. You got to continue to endure and have belief in Yahuwah in order to be saved. Because then it says, I want to emphasize, and I'm going to say this words, "Then sudden destruction come upon them." Sudden destruction means unexpected. Unexpected. Unexpected destruction come upon them. And see, a lot of the times when people are not aware of the word and they're not using the activities that's going on in the world and they're not relating it to the Bible, yes, it's going to be unexpected to those people who's not aware of the word. But it would not be unexpected to those who are reading the word, who understand the word, and who's relating the activities of the world to the Biblia or the Bible. It won't be expected. It won't be unexpected to us. It will be expected for us to know that these things are happening because we see the signs and wonders. But it's going to be unexpected to those people who really truly don't believe and who's really truly not understanding the word. Let us go to Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. Because we're dealing with the word sudden, right? No, go to Exodus. I'm sorry. Go to Exodus. Exodus chapter 15, verse 9 and 10. Because when the children of Israel was leaving Egypt and Moses had parted the Red Sea, Pharaoh didn't expect for the sea to come down on him. He was just going after the children of Israel, not realizing the situation that he was in. Not realizing that, man, these guys have parted the water so that they could walk through it. He's not realizing that the power of Yahuwah is at hand. He's not realizing that Yahuwah is making a way for the children of Israel to escape from him. But the way they're going to escape is the same way that Pharaoh may die or may pass away or may be deleted. Because listen to this in Exodus 15:9. It says, the enemy said, I will pursue and I will overtake. I will divide the spoils. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword. My hand shall destroy them. Thou didst bow with thy wind, and the sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters. So when that river came, when the Red Sea came up, Pharaoh was still trying to pursue the children of Israel. And when the waters came down, that was sudden destruction. That was something that suddenly happened to him at that moment. And him not anticipating it, because the simple fact is he did not know what was actually going on. He did not look at everything as a divine spirit, as the divine of the Most High delivering the children of Israel out of his hands. He did not look at it from a spiritual moment. He was just only looking at it from his lens, his eyesight, on how he wanted to do things and not how life was actually taking place right in front of him. And a lot of the times we as people, we don't look at life from a divine moment. We're only looking at it from what's actually taking place in my life and how I want to see life and the way life is for me. But in actuality, that is not the case. Because what we're still trying to do is fix that desires that we have in our mind. We still wanting what we want, how we want it, the way we want it. And see, that's the thing is, if we look at the deeper parts of the story of Exodus and Pharaoh was very selfish. He was boisterous. He wanted what he wanted, how he wanted, and the way he wanted. And he didn't care anything about the children of Israel. He just wanted to use the children of Israel for his purpose. And that is to gain material possessions. And the Most High did not, and see, that's why the Most High delivered the children of Israel out of his hands. And that was the same reason why it happened in the North and South War. The South wanted the children of Israel for their purpose, to use them for the way they wanted, how they wanted it to be. So what the Most High had to do? He had to cause the North and South War, so he can destroy both people, because they had their own evil intent for the people. And it came all of a sudden. Destruction came all of a sudden. And see, when people are so greedy and so carnal mindset, they're not thinking about nothing but how they want to get what they want. Not thinking about the end of it. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 29. And that's what we got to be very careful about, because our own physical desires can get us to sink into whatever it is. It can get us to sink into debt. It can get us sink into death. It can get us to be into so many problems because our own physical desires and wants. And we're doing it because what we want from the inside and not what Yahuwah want for us. And see, that's what we got to understand. Everything what's going on in the world today is all about Yahuwah. We're just his instrument. We're just his tool. We're just his vessels. Okay? It says in Proverbs 29:1, it says, he that being often reproved and harden his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. Listen to that. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bears rule, the people mourns. What's going on in the world today? The people are mourning because we have a wicked person in charge. And you can't really tell him anything because he's going to do it the way he want to do it. And the first thing he'll tell you, you're fired. That's why he got the cabinet members that he had, because all of them are yes men. All of them are yes people. Yes, 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 yes. And I want you to hear this again in Proverbs 29:1. It says, he that being often reproved or corrected hardens his neck. Means that every time you try to tell somebody something, they ain't going to listen to you because they want it the way they want it, how they want it, the way they want it. He that being often reproved or corrected harden his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. That means that you try to tell somebody what to do so many times, they just saying themselves, I ain't listening to nothing you gotta say. I don't care what you gotta say, how you gonna say it. I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it, how I want to do it. And when they take on that mindset, shall suddenly be destroyed. And it won't be no remedy for them because they're so wicked. They have set their minds to be the way they want to be, how they want to be. That what happened with Pharaoh. That what happened with the North and South. That's what happened with people in general. When you are so disobedient and don't want to take any type of corrections, destruction going to come upon you so suddenly. It's going to make your head spin. And that's the thing about it, is the most High want to deal with humble people who's willing to take correction, who's willing to be able to love, and who's willing to be able to be submissive and obedient to his word. John 14. I say this all the time. This is what Yahusha said. See, if you love Yahuwah, you're going to do what he say do. And this is what John 14:15 say. If you love me, keep my commandments. If you love a person, you do what they ask you to do. If you love a person, you love Yahuwah, you do what they ask you to do. If you love me, keep my commandments, and I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comfort, that he may abide with you forever. See, it's a benefit in loving Yahuwah. When you really truly love Yahuwah and you keep his commandments, he will give you a comforter. He will give you one that will be with you forever. But when you're not loving Yahuwah and you're not abiding by his word, sudden destruction will come upon you and you will have no remedy. And that's something that you got to understand. Okay? So let us go back to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 4. Because this is a personal letter that Paul is writing to the brothers. And he's really giving them, he's really trying to encourage them to let them know what's going to actually happen in the future. And he's trying to let them know that, hey, you're going to have to endure this until the end. You're going to have to go through these complications. You're going to have to go through these troubles. You're going to have to go through these trials and tribulations. But you're going to have to endure this thing. You're going to have to endure this walk. Okay? It says, but ye brethren, see what he's saying? Ye brethren, these are Hebrew Israelites he's talking to. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day shall overtake you as a thief. He's telling them the conditions. They got the information. He's telling them, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that day shall overtake you as a thief. He's giving you confirmation of who you are right here. Ye are all the children of light, the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as others do, but let us watch and be sober. See, because of who we are, we have responsibilities. We have responsibilities. We have responsibilities to be a watchman for Yahuwah, be a watchman for other people. We have a responsibility. And we cannot take this responsibility light. Because he said, this verse 5 and 6, I want us to understand something. He said, ye are the children of light and of the day. What do you mean by the children of light? Light means to shine, to make manifest. It means a natural, artificial. It means literal and physical, spiritual. It means light means to enter the intellect portion. It means intellect. It means wisdom. Okay? And that coming out of Greek 53:46. It means to show or make known one's thoughts. That is, speak or say. He's telling us that we are the children of wise people because of how Yahuwah has been dealing with us. Because we are the children of light, meaning wisdom. And if we are the children of wisdom, these things won't come more suddenly upon us because we already see what's going on. And we live that lifestyle, and Yahuwah is speaking to us. And he was comparing the people of darkness and comparing the people of light. The people of darkness don't even know what's going on. They just still chasing and trying to get these worldly things. They're just trying to chase and get these worldly things and don't care about nothing but what's the world got to offer. And I was looking at a video. As soon as Donald Trump signed the deal, this lady said it's a good time to refinance because the stock market is gonna go up. It's good to refinance. It's good to do this and it's good to do that. All because he signed an artificial deal that was not real. Something he created. No benefits to it. The tariff still is going to be the same. It's 30% on China, 10% on ours. They still getting tariffs, taxes. But everybody is glorifying this man because of what he created. Now he feel like he got a resolution for it. And he didn't bring no resolution. He caused a problem, and he just putting a band-aid over something he fixed. He caused. So let us go to Matthew's. Because Matthew chapter 26. Because we got responsibilities in this day and time. Our responsibilities, Matthew chapter 26, verse 40 and 41. We still have responsibilities. Our responsibility is to be awakened so that we can know how to handle what's getting ready to take place in the world. So we'll know how to be, how we live, all of these things. You know, because you see, it's like I got this guy at work, and he going through some issues. And I said, hey, man, you might want to do this. He said, no, man, I ain't worrying about that. My mind's still focused on this over here. And sometimes we can get so caught up in the web or entangled in some worldly things that we can forget about the spiritual things in life. And what really matters the most is if you're doing right during your complications in life, the Most High will fix the worldly things because you're fixing the spiritual things. The Most High will fix. The Most High will fix the worldly things as long as you're fixing the spiritual things. When you're not fixing the spiritual, he can't fix the worldly. But as long as you're trying to continue to do right and study his word, you ain't got to worry about this over here because he'll take care of that for you. Okay, it says in Matthew 26 and 40, it says, he cometh unto the disciples and find them asleep and said unto Peter, what? Could ye not wait? Could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. Listen to this. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. And see, that's what we deal with every day. That's what we deal with on a everyday life. Are we going to do things from the spiritual or the righteous, or are we going to deal with it from the worldly? How am I acting? Spiritually or worldly? How am I acting? Am I doing this because I want it or because I don't want it? Or because this is what the Most High want me to do? And that's why that's the tussle that we deal with every day. Because sometimes we're very selfish. Because we want what we want, but we're not looking at the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture in life right now? Is it about Yahuwah or is it about us? Is it about Yahuwah making his word come true so that he can get the glory? Or is it about us just getting what we want? And that's something that we got to understand about us as a people. Okay, because we have responsibilities to awaken, and we also have a responsibility to live in our awakening. Revelation chapter 16, verse 15. We can't be awoke and then act like we don't see what's going on in the world and don't want to accept the reality that we live in. Okay? In Revelation chapter 16, verse 15, it says, behold, I am come as a thief. Blessed is he that watches and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Okay? That means that you always on guard. You always making sure you're doing the right thing at the right time because no one knows the day nor the hour. Mm-hmm. And when you're walking righteously, you're not concerned about what's going on because you know you're always going to be covered. You're always going to be protected. Is it a hard thing? Yes. Because we're dealing with we're dealing with this right here. We're dealing with this right here. Ephesians 6 and 12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take up the whole arm of Ananiah, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil days, having done all to stand. That's what we're actually dealing with. That's what we're actually dealing with. And because we are in some evil days, we got to understand the conditions that we're in. Let us go to Titus chapter 2, verse 12. Okay, I'm going to go to verse 11 too, verse 11 and 12. It says, for the grace of Ananias that bringeth salvation has appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, that's what it's teaching us. Listen to that again. And I'm going to say something to you. When you're doing the right thing, the Most High is going to make sure you're covered. He's going to make sure you're protected. He's going to make sure you're fed. He's going to make sure you're clothed. He's going to make sure that you are okay. And it may not come in the manner in which you want for yourself. He's not going to give you a winning lottery ticket. He's not going to give you a winning lottery ticket. He's not going to give you something that you can give man the glory for. He's going to give it to you in a way that he give it to you so that you can be like, thank you, Yahuwah. He'll give you 10 hours extra on your job for overtime. Or he'll give you an extra job. Or he'll give you an extra client. Or he'll do things for you that man can't do. So when you're doing the right thing, he's going to provide for you because you're his child. And that's why I'm saying to you, in this season and time that we're in, it's very encouraging that we got to continue to do the right thing. We got to continue to walk righteously, that we got to continue to be steadfast in his word. No matter what people may say, no matter what people may do to you, you got to continue to do the right thing. Because whatever happens at the end of the day, you can't say that I did what I was supposed to do. That's what you got to say at the end of the day, that I did what Yahuwah asked me to do. And I don't care what nobody else say. And you know, people can talk about you. They can do all these things. You're going to go, a righteous man going to always... Understand that. Let us go to Matthew chapter 5. Because I want you to understand this right here. It says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of Ananias. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for there is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted the prophets which were before you. So if the prophets were persecuted, and you're trying to do the same, you're trying to do what's right, you're going to be persecuted because Christ was persecuted. If Christ was persecuted, the prophets were persecuted, what makes you think you ain't going to be persecuted? And this is I want you to understand what we get ready to go through. You got to understand that you're going to be persecuted during this season and time. You got to understand that people are going to come at you. You got to understand these things. But you got to continue to endure. You got to continue to move and don't let nobody stop you from doing what you got to do. You really do. Let's go back to Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 6, verse 7. But let me read it over in verse 5, 6, and 7. It says, ye are all the children of light and the children of day. We are not of the night, nor of the darkness, nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as others do, but let us watch and be sober. Those are our responsibilities. We got to be watchful and sober. Okay, and then it says, for they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, for an helmet, the hope of salvation. Listen to that. The hope of protection. These are responsibilities that we have to do during this period of time. Regardless of what other people are doing in the world, regardless of their actions, regardless of what they got going on in their life, regardless of what they doing, we still have the responsibilities of being sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, for an helmet, the hope of protection. This is our responsibility. This is something we got to take on. Because that's why I said faith is the belief, an agreement of the minds to the truth of what is declared by another. So our faith is, we're going to live our faith is our belief in the true word of Yahuwah. And we're going to do what Yahuwah's words say do, regardless of what somebody's trying to tell us. Regardless of what somebody's trying to do to us. Regardless of whatever. Can you imagine you being put in a lion's den or the fiery furnace? Or you being sold like Joseph? And you still got to have the belief that the Creator, the Yahuwah, is going to protect you through all those obstacles, through all those ups and downs of life? Can you still have the faith in Yahuwah when everybody's talking about you, backbiting you, thinking that you had did something intentionally to hurt somebody, but your intentions wasn't that way, but you still got to believe in Yahuwah? Can you have the faith of Yahuwah in Yahuwah to be able to know that your bills may not be getting paid, but you're working as hard as you can, you're doing what you can die to do, and you going through this stuff? You got to still have that faith in Yahuwah, knowing that you're going to make it through those moments. Because if they say if he took you to it, he can take you through it. Just like Daniel took him through it. Just like Joseph took you through it. Just like Gideon, he had to go fight 10,000 men with 300 men. So he take you to a problem so that he can be glorified. Because this is our responsibility spiritually. Be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love. Love is an action word. Love is not just saying, I love you. Love is showing. Let me show you what love is. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Verses 4 through 7. This because people just think because they tell you they love you, that means that means something. No. Because somebody tell you they love you and they don't show you they love you, that don't mean a hill of beans. Okay? Love suffers long. Love is kind. Love envies not. Love advance not votes not itself. Love is not puffed up. Doeth not behave itself unseemly. Seek not her own. Love is not selfish. Love is not easily provoked. Love do not think evil. Love rejoice not in iniquities, but rejoice in the truth. Love beareth all things, believe all things, hope all things, endures all things. Love never faileth, but whether there be prophecy, they shall fall. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, we prophesy in part. But love never fails. You may have all these abilities and these gifts, but the love that you have, your actions, how you treat people shows you that you love them or not. Your actions on how you treat people, whether you're going to backbite, whether you're going to puff yourself up over somebody else, whether you're going to do this and do that to somebody. That's love or hate. But let us go back to 1 Thessalonians. Okay. Verse 9. For it says, Ananias has not appointed us to wrath. Listen to that. People of light. This is reassuring. This is very encouraging. I want you to understand that. That's why it's important for us to be able to understand the word. That's why it's very important. It said, for Ananias has not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain protection by our Lord Yeshua the HaMashiach, who died for us, that whether we wake or sleep, dead or alive, we should live together with him. Wherefore, comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also ye do. We got responsibilities in this day and time. We got to be awakened, but we also got to do something for other people. We always got to be helping one another. Let's go to Matthew chapter 25. Verses 35 through 40. See, our greatest responsibilities is looking out. Shalom, my brother. Our greatest responsibilities is here. Matthew 25 through 35 through 40. It says, for I was hungry and you gave me meat. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and ye took me in. Naked and ye clothed me. I was sick and ye visited me. I was in prison and you came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Yahuwah, Master, or Rabbi, when saw we thee and hungry and fed thee, or thirst and gave thee drink? Listen to these things. When we saw thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee, or when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? And the kings shall answer and say unto them, verily, I say unto you, inasmuch as you have done it unto the one of the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. helping one another in this season and time. This is what I mean by comfort. We have to comfort each other right now. We got to help each other right now. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 3, verse 13. Listen to this. We're going to go to verse 12 too. Because we got to keep our faith in the midst of everything that we see going on and what we get ready to see. It says, take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief, in departing from the living of Ananias. But exalt one another daily, uplift one another daily, while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. For we are made partakers of Christ, if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast unto the end. While it is said today, if ye will hear his voice, harden not your heart, as in the provocations. That's what he's telling us to do. Be uplifted to one another. Help each other. Bring peace to one another. Give security to one another. This is what we got to do right now in this time. Let us go to Romans chapter 14. Verse 19. It says in verse 18, it says, for he that in these things served Christ and the Messiah is acceptable unto Ananias, and approved of men. Let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace, and things wherewith one may edify one another. For meat destroys not the work of Ananias. All things indeed are pure, but it is evil for that man who eateth with offense. But the main thing is, let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace. Let's follow the things that make for peace, and the things wherewith one may edify one another, uplift one another. Let's do those things that's uplifting to each other and not hurt each other in this day and time, because we're going to need each other. Last one, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. This is what we should be doing right now, because all the stuff that's going on in the world, the last thing somebody needs to be doing is trying to argue and go crazy and fuss and fight. That's the last thing people should be trying to do, because it's not worth it, because the headache. It said, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearer. Minister grace unto the hearer. So that concludes the teachings for today. I hope I didn't go over too long. I hope the Most High, that's not that long. So yeah, just 79 minutes. Talking about 10 minutes. Okay, good. So yeah, I hope everybody got a good word from today, from Yahuwah's words. And I hope that we understand that we got to keep the faith during this season, regardless of what we see and how we see things. We got to keep the faith. And the faith is belief and the agreements of the minds to the truth of what is declared by another, which is the word. We got to believe in the word of Yahuwah so that we can escape, to flee from and avoid troubled times. Okay? Because we got to endure until the end. Okay? So that concludes the teaching for today. Father, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you. Father, we give you all the honor and the glory. Father, we just thank you for everything you have done and what you continue to do. Father, we just ask that you continue to let your word go out and not come back void. Father, we just ask that you continue to do your will on earth as it is in heaven. Father, we ask that you let us see the way you want us to see, hear the way you want us to hear, and speak the way you want us to speak. Father, but we also ask for understanding of your word. Father, we ask that you forgive us for the sins that we have committed, knowingly and unknowingly. Father, we just ask that you continue to provide and protect for us, but let us be able to see the word come into revelations. Direct our footsteps, Father. Help us, Father. And in all these things we pray in your higher name. So let it be. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Y'all have a blessed one, okay? Talk to you all later.
You only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name on it, my home. Yeah, that's my home. Israel, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. I made a promise, can't nobody take it. I chose to put you above all the nations. Out of your grace, I chose to awaken. We made a covenant, don't you forsake it. Come get protected while they going crazy. Israel, my firstborn, my baby. Israel, my firstborn, my baby. I woke you up in your land of captivity. I do not change, I want you to remember me. Laws and commandments, I gave you the remedy. Go read the testimonies for your memory. I sent them prophets, but you wasn't hearing me. I come to you if you really come near to me. I heard your cry, now it's time to take it to me. I'm the one got you from all of your enemies. Who you know open the sea. The waters are bitter, but I made it sweet. Case you ain't know how to swim. I'm your protector, so I made you walk on your feet. This a reminder you married to me. I just want you to be all I called you to be. They called you niggas, but I made you priests. I'm about to give you back everything. I'm sending plans for you. I'm sending boys, drying up rivers. I leave them dead for you. Tell Pharaoh, let my people go. You heard what I said for you. Tell Pharaoh, let my people go. You heard what I said for you. For you, you only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name on it, my home. Yeah, that's my home. Israel. I'm the reason you in captivity. We made a covenant, you ain't remember me. You broke the covenant, I sent your enemy. Get off my land since you wasn't fearing me. I'm the reason they put you in chains. I'm the reason they switched up your name. I'm the reason why you in the hood. I'm the reason of all your pain. I'm sending flows, fires, daily. Think I don't love you, y'all my babies. Ain't my son, must be crazy. Come out that system, come out of that land. They got that military, it was not phase me. It was not move me, it was not graze me. Remember Egypt, I did all that for my people. You only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name on it, my home. Yeah, that's my home. You only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name on it, my home. Yeah, that's my home. Israel.